Abuse. Abuse. These victims are minimized to feel insecure, trapped, beaten, scared, and ashamed. This is the reality of domestic abuse. There was once a time when it was normal, perfectly okay for a man to abuse his spouse and take advantage of her without their permission because women were degraded to be seen as property. For instance, in 1800 BC, the Code of Hammurabi states, decreed that a wife was subservient to her husband and that he could inflict punishment on any member of his household for any transgression. Another example instituted from the Roman Code of Peter Familius reads, if you should discover your wife in adultery, you may with impunity put her to death without a trial, but if you should commit adultery or indecency, she must not presume to lay a finger on you, nor does the law allow it. The effect of this harsh abuse, many lives were taken, which opened the eyes of the country and altered the laws of abuse, but still didn't call for an end. In the Renaissance of France, the abuse was restricted to abuse where someone else couldn't see the bruises on their wives' and children's bodies, so they suggested to demonstrate the use of blows, thumps, kicks, or punches on their backs, which didn't have any marks visible to the eyes. The academic abuse was rapidly increasing. This influenced the United States to come to their senses in 1871 in the case of Framingham in the state of Alabama that stated, the privilege, ancient though it may be, to beat her with a stick, pull her hair, choke her, spit on her face, or kick her about the floor, or to inflict upon her other indignities is not now acknowledged by our law. But this was a different story in Russia. Abuse was dramatically inclining. On a winter day in 1883, a woman was beaten brutally in public by her husband and father-in-law, then taken to their home as they gang raped her while she was in and out of consciousness. This story is just one of many instances of domestic abuse against women who has no justice. The Russian saying of abuse states, he beats you. That means he loves you. This is where the expertise of Maria Prsklovskaya, a Roman leading rights activist for family and violence, comes in. Her research and practice is dedicated to achieving the end of domestic violence that has reached academic proportions. She is now active not only in combating the scourge of violence against women, but also in human trafficking against women and children. In July 1993, she instituted a hotline for abused women that led to be the first establishment of the Women's Crisis Center of the country of Russia, that she operated alone for the first 6 months, answering phone calls for 4 hours a day and then counseling women for another 4 hours each day. Prsklovskaya campaigned a media movement to educate abused women and their rights. An organization called ANNA, a National Center for the Prevention of Violence, that helps abused women gain access to the needed resources. She has now produced among 170 locations of this crisis center across Russia. Due to her contribution, she was awarded in 2004 the Human Rights Global Leadership Award. Maria instituted 2 articles in the Declaration of the Human Rights that protects the sufferer of domestic violence in her country. The renewed Article 3 states, victims have the right of life, liberty, and personal security. And Article 5 states that victims should have the freedom from torture and degrading treatment. These 2 articles shed light on the numerous women that has no way from escape of the pain, torture, or the path of death if they didn't receive legal help. The society tends to black out the true reality in life, in which hides the knowledge that there are people who live in this world with us that are suffering from domestic violence. But ask ourselves, what are we really doing to save these victims? If it wasn't for Maria Prsklovskaya, we'll still be at the same spot, not providing help and assistance to suffering victims across the world. She was able to step up to the plate and take the lead role in providing help of domestic violence victims and aiding rescue to them. Prsklovskaya is now a treasurer of an organization developed to protect women against violence, originated in Europe, called the Wave Board. And remember these following words. Silencing in truth beneath her tears. Have you experienced her fears? Crying from the inside, but you never know, because she's beneath you. Pushed up in the shadows of the corner, trying to protect herself from the blows. Though you continue to bruise her, the screams she produced only made you hit harder. And to think that this only makes you feel manly is just a disgrace. Who are you to feel that it's okay to put your hands on a female race? Abuse and confusion left her, and the woman you claim to love, you're tormenting? How dare you? Women deserve to be loved. Lady, this is not the end. Stand strong and continue to defend.